Hello and welcome everyone to the third session already today. And we are going to have a really exciting story, a really exciting demo as well, with a lot of cool stuff from our speaker today, Jan Verwoerd. Jan Verwoerd is not only a great friend of mine, he is sometimes helping me out with any related questions regarding design and modeling event spaces, with photorealistic, lots of cameras. I can actually don't tell you anything about the details. He's much better in that. So give it up for Jan Verwoerd and his company 360 Fabriek.
Hi everyone. Thank you very much, Nick, for the great introduction. Thank you. And I would say let's go. I have about 20 minutes for you guys of a lot of information, so I hope everyone will follow. If not, no problem. You can always send some questions in the live chat, and we will be answering them at the end. Today, we will be covering a topic which is called capturing reality. And I will show you some ways, and the most important way I'll show you today is photogrammetry. And we'll start with that right away. So photogrammetry is actually a way of taking pictures of an object from all angles and then use those pictures to reconstruct a photorealistic 3D model. And we can actually do this from mostly any kind of products until complete environments, like Nick already told you, for digital collabs and many purposes. So today, in short, I will be covering how you do it, how can you start yourself from a bit more professional to even just with your phone. Now, before we start, I'll show you a quick video from in about a minute from what kind of things we can create. So everything you'll see is not a video, they are actually renders from 3D models. So here we go. So what you just saw were photorealistic 3D models created out of pictures. So no hand modeling was used to create them. This is a very nice and quick workflow to recreate physical objects digitally and therefore also use them digitally. Now, for this technique called photogrammetry, actually the only thing you need is a camera. Now, we have two different types of cameras. We have the more expensive professional cameras, DSLR or mirrorless cameras, but also you could use just your smartphone. Now, the most important thing which you have to think about is we need pictures as sharp as possible. So this is no game about who can create the nicest pictures with a lot of depth of field inside the pictures. No, we don't care how the picture looks. We just care about the sharpness of the pictures overall. We actually use both. Also in production, we also use the smartphone regularly because it's nice and handy and fast. and in environments where light is scarce. There's nice AI stuff inside the newest smartphones that actually creates a very nice, bright picture out of that. So, what do you need more next to a camera? Well, you need some sort of software. We use reality capture, which is, in my opinion, by far the best one out there to do this. But it's not cheap. You need to pay for it and pay for it monthly. Now, we have different kinds of software who can actually do pretty much the same, and some are free, some are paid. For example, 3D Flow is paid, and Meshroom is free to use for everyone. Now, a 3D model recreated out of pictures can be huge. The detail that can go into these models is very, very fine. So to use it digitally, you will need some sort of cleaning and or optimizing software. We actually use all of them you see here: Blender, ZBrush, Autodesk 3ds Max, Autodesk Maya, and or other software to recreate or clean up the models. Now, basically, in short, how does it work? Well, you capture a data set, and I will show you in a minute more or less how to capture a data set, or from what angle points you should take the pictures in the next slide. After you process the images through your reconstruction software, create a 3D model out of it, and after that you clean it, optimize it, and you can use the 3D model for a lot of purposes. Now, how does that look like? So these are 4 images from our software Reality Capture. First of all, you align the pictures. So on the left top image, you see that all the pictures are aligned nicely. And how the software works, you can see more or less in the right top picture. So there I've selected one point inside the point cloud or the model. And what you can see there is that specific point of the 3D model is actually covered by several pictures. So the software actually recognizes the same point inside that picture or inside that model from different view angles, and that is actually what it uses to recreate the mesh. And the mesh, or massa in Dutch, you can see on the left bottom picture. So this is actually just the geometry in English called. And to be able to have a really nice photorealistic 3D model, we will use the pictures for texturing. So if you use pictures for texturing, the pixels that go on there will be photorealistic, and therefore it will look much more realistic than, for example, a render. And how will those 3D objects look? So what we usually do with our 3D models is we put them on Sketchfab. Sketchfab is an online platform for 3D models, and it is very easy to use. You can just upload your geometry and your textures, and you can use it and embed it on pretty much all websites, just simply using an iframe. So you see here, all those 3D models are recreated out of pictures, so they have very nice textures, but there are some limitations. For example, if you have objects that are very reflective, it's really hard for the software to recognize a specific point, because when it's reflecting with light, it looks different in every picture. That's the same for transparent objects. Transparent objects are really hard to do because also from every different angle, the object looks a bit different. Now, the third thing that is very hard to do, and don't start with it, is actually moving objects. So let's say plants are very difficult because they move very, very quickly. Also, plants outside or moving objects outside by the wind are very, very hard to do. Now, if you don't want to get physical, so you don't have access to an expensive camera, or you don't have access to a processing computer, or it's hard for you to work with the software because some of the software will actually have a pretty high learning curve. You can start off with a couple of very nice apps. And I have selected 6 apps for you, and those are usually free to use and would only need to use your phone. They more or less work the same. And if you like to see how they work, because it is hard at this moment in time to have show you all the possibilities and how they work and what the results be in about 20 minutes, you can actually get this presentation. All these icons you see here, they have URL links inside. And if you leave your email address in the comments, we can send you this presentation after, so you can check out what the results will be. Now, the best one of the 6, in my opinion, is Trinio. Trinio is actually doing exactly the same as we do professionally, but then it uses your camera phone. It uploads automatically to a server. In this server, they will process the 3D model for you and send it back to your app. So actually, you can check out the 3D model you've created inside the app and/or share it with your friends and/or other companies. That's also the same for display land, which is the best one out there at this moment in time, especially for environments. So Trinio is more for objects, and display is more for environments. Then you have the CubeClone app, which is available for iOS and Android, and is also a very good app. Now, the quality of this app is slightly better than from Tinio, but there's one thing, because you actually need to print out a paper with some sort of QR code on it. This QR code is for the application to actually calculate from what position all the pictures are being taken. Now, this field is very much active. The reality capture field is going really, really fast. Some companies are using AI to do a part of actually all of the work. And also the very big companies like Apple and Samsung are actually implementing these inside your phone. So the new iOS 14, which is coming out later this year for everyone, is available in beta right now. Uh, um, and this has applications built in that can actually do a part of all of this process. A very nice one is the iPad Pro. It's new and it has a scanner inside. Now, some of big companies, building companies, they use laser scanners to actually generate the mesh. Now, laser scanners are very bad in recreating textures because the camera which is inside is usually not very good. So, for example, when we use laser scanning technology, we use it in combination with pictures. So we use the laser scanner for the mesh, and then we use the pictures for the texture. Now, the iPad Pro has both. It has a LiDAR scanner inside and a pretty good camera. Now, it is very suitable, for example, for very quickly capturing floor plans from buildings or taking measurements for architecture and much more purposes. A very interesting one within these 6 is Mapstar. Mapstar is not open for the public right now, but if you send them a message, they are very keen on having people giving them feedback about their application. But this app is actually doing all of the work inside your phone. and it's using the phone processor to actually do it, which is, in my opinion, amazing, because we are using very powerful computers to do this. And Mapstar is created to capture complete environments, and also the measurements of environments. So in this case, you can capture an environment with your phone, get all the measurements, have a 3D model, share that with your audience or with companies you're working with, and let them get their information out of it. Now, the last one is very interesting as well. It's Scandy Pro. It's for iOS, but also for Android, and it actually lets you use a structure sensor to help you capture the 3D data out of it. So it's not only using the pictures, but it's actually letting you add a structure sensor. So that's, for example, the Intel RealSense or the Kinect 3D structure sensor, or, for example, a product like Leap Motion. And this way, your phone and the camera doesn't need to do all the work, but it can actually get help from a consumer 3D scanner to do this. Now, after you've done all the work and you've optimized your 3D model, and it's optimized for browser use, or you have it in Sketchfab, what can you do with it? A very big trend at the moment now, especially with the COVID times we have, is virtual try-on. Virtual try-on is nothing more than placing a 3D object and using an algorithm to define the place. Now, this can be done inside the browser. So there are algorithms that actually scan your face and make sure that the cap that you want to visualize goes on your head, or the earrings go in your ears, or the piercing go in your nose, or you can actually try out makeup or even shoes. Now, the possibilities for that in the browser are a little bit complicated at the moment. You will really need developers to do it. Now, there are also very easy ways to do it. For example, the Spark AR Studio. The Spark AR Studio is an AR face filter studio from Facebook and Instagram, and it lets you publish face filters on Facebook and Instagram. Also, for virtual try-on, it is very nice. It works very easy. You don't need a lot of development skills or coding skills to do it. It's just click and drag and play. Also, the example you see here on the phone is done with Spark AR. What can you do more? You can build 3D web configurators. So what you see here is a 3D web configurator, and it has a base model, and you can actually change the size of it, change the model, if it's hanging or standing, in this case with the lamp, choose the texture, and then with the button that you see on the right top on the screen, bekijk in AR, which actually means show in AR, you can put this lamp inside your own environment to see how it looks. And this all can be done with the capturing of the 3D models with the processes I just explained. More interesting stuff is virtual collab. And we see that more and more. Actually, this is also an example of virtual collab. I am showing you guys virtually what it can be done, or what we can do with it. Now, most virtual collab systems, for example, Engage or Mozilla Hubs, is nothing more than a 3D space with some sort of Zoom or Skype functionality built in, where you can see each other as avatars and talk to each other. But you can also bring in 3D models that you've created yourself, and work on it, or sculpt it, or put annotations on it, to have anyone else look at it. And these are actually very nice ways for working together. It is so much more deep than, for example, just a Zoom conversation and a sharing screen conversation. the last, or actually the on uh, one of the last things I want to show you is the e-commerce purpose. This is growing very fast because it is actually been proving that 3D models, putting 3D models on your website, is increasing the conversion rate. It is creating bigger orders, and it is lowering the return percentage. So making money with 3D models on your website is very easy. Last part I want to show you is this is it looks a bit creepy. It's actually a virtual reality training, and the environment you see here we've captured in about 3 hours. It is completely generated from pictures and being brought into a virtual reality environment. So we've built a complete training inside of this, and because it looks all realistic, people will actually remember it better. Also, it has been proven for virtual reality trainings that it's actually having a lot of benefits compared to traditional trainings. I think I have 4 minutes left. Thank you all for your attention, and I will start to answer some questions if there are questions. Let me see. Mhm. Mhm. Not really questions at the moment, I think.
I think people were actually actively listening, and there are still 3 people watching. If you want, introduce yourself in a live chat, and we will answer your questions if you have them in the live chat as well. So please use the live chat if you have any questions for Jan. Thank you for this great presentation, Jan. I learned a lot. That was
Well,
cool.
that's good. That's good. It was a bit fast, though. I needed to go fast. There's so much to tell about this topic
Hmm.
because it's going really fast at the moment. Lots of companies are creating applications to make this easier and easier, and we are actually one of them. Especially during the COVID times that we are having right now,
Yeah.
the digital world will be more and more important.
Hmm.
So it will be easier to talk to each other digitally, show each other different stuff. So, for example, there is a company called Matterport. You probably know it, Nick. It's just selling a scanner with a camera and a 3D scanner inside to recreate complete houses. And actually, real estate companies are using that to show you the house digitally before you
Hmm.
actually go there. So it's saving so much time, and also money. It's good for the environment because you don't need to go anywhere. And actually, you can see much more houses, of course, in a shorter amount of time.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's so realistic. So that's it's. I never seen something as realistic as you are creating. So the musea that you've created, the flowers that you've scanned, it's super realistic. How
Yes,
how
actually, yeah.
how good are the cameras that you're using for that?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, Nick, we do a lot of with the phone, um,
Mhm. Wow.
because a pretty new smartphone has a 12 megapixel camera inside,
Yeah.
and some good algorithms that create very nice and sharp pictures, and
Mhm.
they are suited very well for capturing reality.
Okay. So you use your iPhone, or how do you do that? Because I saw you used cameras back in the days to scan the Onderzeeberloods like a big
Yes.
venue.
Yes. Well, if you're scanning such a huge environments, I would really recommend to use a mirrorless camera with a lot of megapixels and a huge sensor inside. This is basically the rule. The larger the camera sensor, the better the quality of your images will be, of course.
Yeah.
But we mainly focus on creating it more simple, creating it, making it easier for everyone to use. For example, we just launched a new service where we teach people how to shoot their data set.
Yeah.
Um, and they go to a website and they just upload the whole thing to us. And within 24 hours, they'll receive their photorealistic 3D model back. So
Hmm.
it actually looks like, or it works like the apps that are out there using it. But the problem with those apps is the quality is not ready for production like. So it's not really ready for high end brands, for example. So we just put some more computing power into it to actually recreate a better model. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I see
So
a question here from Mariella.
yeah.
Where can I find the VR training formats you've created? How do you distribute them in the real world? Well, if you'd like to see some of the virtual reality trainings we've done, we can just schedule a call and we can show you or send you the file so you can actually try it at home.
Mhm.
And distributing them is actually very easy because you don't need a lot. You just need the file and run it on your computer, and they are not really huge. They're usually a couple of gigabytes, let's say 2 or 3 or 4 gigabytes. You can have a huge training in that amount of data.
Yeah, that's great. So, Marielle, want to start to scan your seats to meet locations, perhaps? Like you have a lot of event spaces people can walk through. You did some walkthroughs in houses, right, Jan?
Yes. Um, More and more, we're using laser scanners now because it's way easier for it's quicker.
Hmm.
In that occasion, we could scan a whole house in about an hour or 1.5 hours.
What? The whole
Yeah.
house?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So the virtual world, creating a virtual digital twin is actually an hour work now for a whole
Yes.
house.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
That's
it's getting crazier with these new iOS 14 and the new AR Core updates from Android.
yeah.
It's getting even better. We will in a couple of years we will be all able to completely scan an environment just using your phone and use it digitally and actually bring someone inside there within an hour or two in a virtual collab system. So I could actually show you on a location on the other side of the world within a few hours.
Hmm. That's great. So my house can be
Exciting
scanned.
times.
I can just call you and you will scan my little apartment.
For you, Nick, yeah, we'll do it.
That would be so amazing. And you scanned also your baby, right? Or your
Yeah.
girlfriend when she was pregnant. That was also
Yes.
remarkable.
Yeah, it's well, it's a passion. So at one point you start to scan everything you get your hands on, right? And at one point I thought it would be nice just to have a 3D picture of my baby boy son,
Yeah.
just to have in the future, right? And you can place it in your own environment using AR. So in a few years, when he gets older, he'll be actually able to see himself as a copied 3D model inside his own environment. I'm very curious what his reaction will be if he actually sees that. But I'm a bit afraid that at that point he'll be so used of placing virtual objects inside his own environment that he's not really impressed anymore. I'm afraid.
Yeah. So we have to stop here because our next speaker is already in the backstage waiting for it to go on
Perfect.
stage. Thank you very much, Jan, for your presentation.
You're welcome. We'll talk to each other later. Thanks
Yeah,
very
great.
much, y'all.
Yeah, have a wonderful day, and we will see each other later.
Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Hello and welcome, Elise. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Are you excited for it?
Yes, of course. So
yeah,
it's
great.
a
So,
story.
a little bit delayed, like 3 minutes late, but people who were staying in the stream, they have had a sneak preview of Jan, his talk, and here with I want to introduce Elise. She has a great session prepared for you all, and that's on Ditch Your Fear and Step into the New. I'm really curious to know more because that's a very surprising title. I don't know actually what is going to happen, so I'm really curious about it. But I will leave the stage to you, and if you have any slides, I can put them on stage for you, and you will have the floor for the next 29 minutes.
Cool. Yeah, I don't have any slides, but I will show some movies and some music. Personally, I don't really like slides, so I thought, let's just talk.
Yeah.
Let me first introduce myself. My name is Elise de Bres. I'm a social entrepreneur. I have different businesses. One of them is a publishing company where we publish books about mindset mainly. I'm also helping other people to create their basically impossible dreams about books. So I made a really big book with Marcel Wanders, which is like 35 kilos. And then my main business is Seeds to Meet in Amersfoort, where we have a meeting space location and where we also want to create a stage for awareness-based activities, which we call speelveld. And if you translate that literally, that's the play field or the playground. And then there's another project I'm participating business in. It's called Flower of Sound, in which we work with frequencies and technology to basically help open up consciousness and get people aware. And at the moment I'm in Berlin, and it made me think of about when I was, I think, 12 or 13, we had this exchange program with a lot of German students. And we were just dropped in a German family without being able to speak German. And in there, I think it was one of my first real experiences with fear, with how did it work, what was it? Because you got totally immersed in it, because you suddenly end up in this family who doesn't speak any other language than German, and you don't speak German. So you just learn a little bit, and you have no other choice than just adapt, than to basically allow and surrender to the situation and just start speaking German, even though it was horrible. And finally, in that week, the follow the flow, that worked. And that always sort of, I had to think of that, and I realized that always stayed with me. And that's why I also chose this title, from Ditch the Fear and Step in the New, because it's really about immersing yourself in what scares you the most, but also in like possible situations where you are, and that you really let it come so that you can create something new. And to sort of start off with a little example, I would like to invite you to all sort of like just sit down, allow what's everything going around you in your mind, going around, and just feel it. Just feel it for a few seconds. Just feel what it is. And then what I will do, I'll put on a little music, and music is maybe not exactly the right word, but it has a special frequency in it that sort of transmutes fear or can help you to adapt to fear. And everybody of us has fear. Maybe you don't always recognize it as fear, but it's like things you don't like. And especially now in these Corona times, I mean, what does it do to your business? What does it do to you? What does it do to your loved ones? Everything around it, it creates this energy, which is not always the one you want. So to start off this presentation, I want you actually to breathe and take a few deep breaths and just listen for a second. And let me see which one I can take.
Yeah, you can share the music clip, and I will put it on stage for you.
Perfect. I'll share it, and let me put it on. And just listen to it a little bit. And breathe. And when you sort of listen to this kind of music, and especially if you really immerse yourself, and the music is created by Flower of Sound, it's we have at Seeds to Meet, we have this space called the Speelveld, and in there you can really immerse yourself in this kind of music, and it helps you to basically adapt your energy and create a different mood for yourself. And because if you have like resistance or you want to change your energy, it's also all about immersion. It's all about feeling it, creating that space within you and around you. Because if you fully adapt to it, then you can create something new. And to give you an example, here is, for instance, the Speelveld. Here we go. Let me see. Here we go. Yes. So, for instance, this is our space at Seeds to Meet, and where you can see the lights, so it's also with colors of lights and with frequencies. It's really about that immersion and changing your energy. And if you look at ditching the fear, like for instance, these Corona times made our business very challenging because nobody was meeting each other in real life. And so my business partner, Tiana, and I were like, what can we do? Because in a way, everybody is scared to come together. Our business is empty. We could be scared that our business is not going to make it. And so we truly sort of allowed or accepted that that is the situation as it is. And that created also this enormous boost of energy. So what we've done now, we've opened up the Speelveld basically, so that we ask, because we realized what we want is to get the energy flowing. So we've asked everybody to become a player on the Speelveld, not with money, even though the money is scarce. It's like, come and do your thing, because we have this abundance. These spaces are open and empty, so do your thing. And when we brought that out in the world, we started to create something new. And it's amazing what's happening. Like, we have now all these really enthusiastic reactions, and now everybody's organizing their events, Corona-proof at the moment, at our Speelveld. And we have this huge calendar now with really cool, and interesting events, from Tai Chi to conscious business to all kinds of things, all based on awareness. So we can create this, this little puzzle in it, and that everybody gets affected by this sort of positive energy and starts creating things and be really into the now. And we really want to make that difference, and that's coming back in different things. And for instance, with Flower of Sound, that's the business I'm working with in this Speelveld as well. We're also trying to create people and sort of touch that space, that they can come back to their creativity, that they can come back and move onwards their blockages. And to give you another example is, for instance, we're creating this virtual reality app with also these frequencies in it. And to really, and this is a music project in it, just think of what you can do if you immerse yourself in these beautiful surroundings, and then with the right music, that you can really become at peace, even if you're in a huge, big stress situation, if you're in the city and things like that. And I will scroll on a little bit, because then it can give you this idea of what it does if you're in this fear-based kind of environment, and what happens if you jump into it, and what happens with that fear. And something is not going right with my screen now. what's happening. Well, let me then just go back to the start and see if that works. So if you immerse yourself and then get the right message in, then you can really open up that creativity again. And based on that, everything is energy. You can really adapt yourself. So that's the message I wanted to bring across, and also show you how technology can be used to that. And even though the technology is not working now, I'm going to stop this. And I also can show you another one, which is this one, is how you can use sound to go around you and with messages. And if you look at this little bubble, it's spatial sound, so you can hear it around you. And this is all created with flower sound. So you can use technology to immerse yourself. You can use spaces like the fulfil to immerse yourself. And also together, it's like whenever you come across something, just immerse yourself in all these feelings, and then you start opening up. And that's what I wanted to share today, because I thought that's something what is important when you're doing all these kind of like next steps of creating cool businesses, to get that flow going into your startup, to get with a group or a project to go further. So that's it. And I see a question: who makes the music? That's actually Claudio Vittori, who's from Flower of Sound, and he's based in Italy, in Milano. So yeah, and it's like these kind of rooms they make. It's with sound, it's with colors, it's with frequencies, it's everything around that. So yeah, so I don't know if there's any more questions about this, or if you want to hear a little bit more. Yeah, I play a little bit of guitar, although I won't bore you with it because it's really at the basics. So I'm more of the text and making motivational text, sharing poetry, sharing motivational text, and also like what's going around. I'm more the ceremonist, if you so to say, and also guide people with the sound showers into meditation to really experience them. So yeah, so that's basically the story I wanted to share, that you can really change it. And if you look at Seeds to Meet, what we're doing now, it makes so much of a difference because now the energy is back in our business and things are flowing. And it's still going very slowly, but that's how we create an out there. And so yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, Elise. I listened to all the beautiful sounds, so I'm really curious because I'm actually sitting in a Seeds to Meet right now.
Okay.
The day hosts are offered by Seeds to Meet to work from Seeds to Meet in Utrecht, but you are having a venue in Amersfoort, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right at the station.
And you have these rooms. I've never seen these rooms. I still have to go there.
In the Netherlands, or basically in the world, as far as we know, because there are more kind of immersive rooms, but they're more based on aesthetics. And what we did is with this music and with the frequencies and also with the colors, they adjust and they are really to certain moods and certain type of energy. So that we created 4 moods. One of them is called calm, so you really can calm down. One of them is focus, so you can work better. The other one is called inspiration, so you can really get inspired. And also there's one called play, where there's also kind of rhythms and all the ideas and technology behind it. It's like a social technology as well. And healing technology comes from sound healing. It comes from neuroscience to really adapt to your brain waves. And and if I can do another try to see if I can show you the virtual reality, because it's a shame that we were.
Yeah, if you can share anything like a screen, something like that.
See if I can try again. Then I'm just gonna start it up again. Let me.
Yeah, I will try to put it on the screen.
Because that's just really cool to show. Yeah, it's starting here. So let me share the screen. Can you see it and hear it? It's like the movie is not going.
The signs that something's going wrong. Someone said that it has never been seen before.
I'm just gonna try and see if it's gonna work now.
So this is in the virtual reality world,
Yeah, this is a virtual reality world.
and you have put all the music in there.
Yeah, it's all the music in there, and we're gonna do that with the frequency as well. This is a musical project called Collateral Nature, and we're gonna publish this basically virtual reality clip, and it really. But I don't know what it is with YouTube. It's like it's not working.
Yeah, we have like a stream to YouTube, and now you're loading in from YouTube, so that's maybe the problem. But it's already looking great, so I'm really excited to try it out.
Yes, and we're gonna create this, and the same who created the music, Claudio Vittori, made this project and built this with a machine jockey, and they really. And if you look at all the possibilities within virtual reality to really immerse yourself, that really gives an extra dimension to experience everything. So it's really about spaces online and.
Yeah, so we, Francis, we are on YouTube, we are on Periscope, and we are on Twitch at the same time. So we are using StreamYard as a tool to stream to a lot of channels at the same time. So feel free to go to our channel. I will share the link to the YouTube in the chat for you, so you can find out all our sessions today. We have over 35 sessions all in the Netherlands today, and we have over 1,800 sessions in 3 days globally. So feel free. Feel free. I cannot share the link, unfortunately, to the YouTube because Periscope thinks it's spam. So I hope you can find our channel on Campus Party, the Netherlands. There we go. Campus Party NL, I mean, it's easier to find on that because we have 2 channels, and the right one is NL. You got it. So the one with a lot of scheduled live streams, that's the one you should be searching for, Francis. It was really great to have some live commenters here with Elise. So I'm really happy that you are here, Francis. I think you're on Twitter, as Periscope is linked to that. So it's great to see people coming in from Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all different sources and are able to comment on the same space. So it's new for us, but it's a really cool technology that it's working. Elise, is there something you want to react to the comment of Jan? Jan had a great comment. I'll put it on the screen about Nature Tracks VR.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm not absolutely sure if it's this one, but I've seen other ones which have basically most of them they do make a movie of beautiful surroundings and then put that in VR, and that also works well because behind the science, if you look at nature, it really calms you down, and that really helps. And what we want to add is that it's not just nature; it's also like all these techniques from binaural beats to immersive, that everything like that can be part of it. And then with Seeds to Meet at Speelveld, we really want to adapt that to really show if you're just having a meeting or you have something that you can add onto your meeting space.
Yeah.
And it is in a way, it is a kind of therapy almost, but then more adapted to like the normal world or the normal.
I think it's a basic human need. We need to stress while we are doing our work. We have to find balance in our stress life.
There's so much stress, and it's all in the end it's fear-based, even though we don't recognize it as fear. But it's always like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen if I don't finish this? Or oh my gosh, do I make enough money? Or something like this.
Yeah. So I haven't tried to blend my day with these kind of sounds yet. But I have installed some meditational apps with these apps with these sounds on it. I used Muse, like a headband.
Yeah, it also really works well. It uses some of the same science as we are using.
Yeah. So I just close my eyes and listen to it for 3 minutes, and then it's like a game. You have to you're practicing to reduce your stress in all the situations that you are in.
Yeah, and what's so cool about it, and that's what we experienced in our space as well, it's like we had groups who are not, you can say, spiritual or conscious based, but then the moment they put on this music, especially if it's calm, you can see like this whole group, they're like this, and then it's something. And yeah, and then I also sometimes give these sound showers, which people really go into deep. Yes, so they're laying actually down on yoga mats.
Yeah.
Little blanket, really getting comfortable. And then you lay in it in these different frequencies, and then you really sort of like come deep. And some people just sleep, but they get this really deep, and other ones have all these experiences with it. So that's that really helps people movement, and you can use it yourself as well to affect your energy, to get more energetic, to get more calm. And
I think this is a question, a logic question that Francis has, because I'm always thinking about the Dutch people going to music festivals, always using drugs and all of that, but I never use
the psychedelics. We don't need to. We have the music, we have the frequencies, we have our own breathing. And if I look at myself, I've been in ice baths, for instance, and I've had different meditations. And in that, I had the same kind of experiences that other people have when they use psychedelics or drugs. So,
I think when you are using the Wim Hof app, like the Wim Hof method, when you get into that, like the cold showers and the ice bath and the meditation sessions and the stretching every morning as a routine, you will understand how to do it without psychedelics.
Well, Wim Hof always says, get high on your own supply.
Yeah, that's a great saying. Yeah, that's a great saying.
And that's basically what it does. So, and that's also with just being conscious of it. And it all comes down to certain like awareness-based practices, being conscious. And you can do that very, very simple, just to pay attention towards each other, just to listen to music, to immerse yourself in it. And it all comes down to this sort of immersion in your own feelings, in everything what's around you, and taking these next steps.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward, because I've been busy with VR for some time. So I'm looking forward to blend that into hybrid conferences and hybrid spaces, in seats to meet. So looking forward to go to your space and discover what we can do to add that.
Yeah.
And because I think I have a lot of creators of VR worlds, and you have a great concept. I think it should be blended, and people are going back into the normal. We have to prevent that they are going back into the normal. I think we have to give them something that all of their senses are being used while they are in a meeting, instead of just intellectual.
Yeah, and that's so cool with the sound. There's something called spatial sound, and that's what we're trying to create with Flower Sound. And my business partner in that, Claudio Vittori, he's really, really good in that, to program it so you can hear it here, or you can hear it behind you, or you can hear it over there. And that, so that you have with your headphones, and that gives an extra dimension, but you can also later create it into a space. And that really is like sort of an underestimated part of virtual reality, of games, of spaces, to have that immersion of it.
Yeah, so Marielle's question is great.
No, Wim Hof doesn't have a VR app yet.
But he doesn't have it. But we did a tryout. We did a VR session, a breathing session with a Wim Hof instructor a few weeks ago with Martijn Holtes. So we did a breathing in the VR world, and it worked out great. So Martijn was wearing the headset, the Oculus Quest, and everyone was able to join via computer or via the headset. And people, you saw the avatars moving their heads when they were breathing in.
Yes.
You saw the avatars moving, so you
Yeah.
felt like you were in the same space. So I think we have to do it more. I think we have to do it more.
Yeah, it's really sort of the next step. We offer now like a new service called the hybrid meeting at Seeds Meet, which is like part is in the space, part is online, but like adding this virtual reality, that really will bring on the next step, that you can really experience that everybody is there together.
Yeah, I'm going to put the link of that VR session, that Wim Hof breathing session. I put the link in the comments, so you can have the breathing session at home. Now it's a 2D YouTube video, and it's not loading everywhere. Periscope doesn't like links, but Twitch and YouTube viewers, they can click on the link and they can give it a try.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for your session, Elise.
You're welcome.
I will copy the music comment that you have. If people want to look it up, I'll put it in the live chat. So give it a try. Start seeking for Claudio Vittori and the Flower of Sound, because these sounds were very relaxing.
Yeah.
Really.
And we're gonna. They're not published officially yet, but we're gonna publish them also via all different channels, and that will happen in the next few months. And then. So we're coming out, and if you want to hear them, you have to come to Amersfoort in our space, and then you can listen them all.
I will definitely. Thanks for the invitation. So I think we are going to wrap it up here. I wish you all a great lunch. It's in the Netherlands or in the CEST time zone. It's lunchtime. Yeah. So we will be back in half an hour at 12:30. And Elise, thanks again. And you are able to share the video. It's live, and it turns into a video after we end this broadcast, and you can share it with your fans as well. I am a fan, so I'm going to meet you in person, and I'm looking forward to see the spaces and feel the spaces.
Good.
Thank you very much. We're off to the outro. Please give a hand to Elise from your home. And see you guys in the next one at 12:30 in the New Horizons stage.